everyone, Melissa here with the Sunshine Planner, and I am back with another recipe. I am making an appetizer today called the Mexican burrito, and I think another name you could probably call this is just maybe a Mexican pinwheel, but it's another family favorite, and I wanted to talk about some of the reasons it works for our family or for me, and why it's so good. And sometimes brands have a lot to do with that. And I have tried some things over the years. I've been making this recipe for probably about 20 years, maybe more. But I'm going to talk about some of the brands that I have stuck with because they've worked. And I'll tell you why they work. First one is the burrito, the flour tortillas. I use the Mission brand. It really holds up well in the refrigerator, and you do have to refrigerate these to reset the cream cheese in the recipe. So even after you make them, they have to sit in the fridge, and this particular flour tortilla really holds up well in the fridge, and it doesn't fall apart. So that's one thing. Another thing is the brand of jalapeno peppers. There are a lot of them out there. They all work just fine, but for whatever reason, these make a difference for my recipe. And this is, I'm gonna slaughter the name, but I think it's Delalo. I don't know, someone correct me on how you should say that, but anyway. These are the best jalapeno peppers. I think sometime maybe I might even try some fresh ones out of my garden, but these are the ones that are tried and true for this recipe. Another one is the refried beans tongue twister. This is the brand that I use. And if you like a chunkier refried bean, there are brands out there that are just fine. I like mine to be smooth, and this is a very smooth refried bean. There are no chunks in it whatsoever. So that's another favorite. I have found that the black olives, it doesn't really matter what brand that is. The cheese, I have used both pre-shredded cheese, but when I can, I shred my own. Today I'm shredding my own. I've already got it shredded. It takes about 2 cups. But buying a bag of shredded cheese works just fine. Now that I've went over all of the important ingredients to the recipe, let's get started on making the actual cream cheese mixture. To start, I'm going to take 2 bars of softened cream cheese, which I already have in my bowl. And then it does call for chopped olives, black olives. And I just use this Pampered Chef chopper. I just give a couple little chops here, get those kind of minced up a little bit. Same with the peppers. I have squeezed out, all the juice of the peppers. It calls for 1 jar of jalapenos. And you can decide how much you want it chopped up. Do you want big pieces? Do you want them minced? I don't like my onions minced, but the rest of it, I don't really care. So I don't actually chop my onions with the chopper. You could, and it just is quicker for me just to chop my onions with. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a small can of chopped black olives, 1 jar of jalapenos chopped. And as far as the onions go, it calls for 1 onion, and I just kind of, you know how onions can be different sizes, so I just kind of put in what I think will go, and it seems like it's a Vidalia onion, sweet onion, so I'm gonna leave that little bit out. That seems to be enough what I put in. And I'm gonna mix this up. Let's get this going. I mixed this before I put the cheese in. When I first started making this recipe, it didn't call for me to put the cheese inside my cream cheese mixture, the shredded cheese. But I have found over the years that it really just does make it easier when spreading and holding everything together. And it really doesn't change the flavor because all the flavors are just all the flavors. So calls for 2 cups of cheese, a bag of shredded cheese, or you can freshly grate your cheese like I've done. You guys are gonna love this recipe. It's gonna be a family favorite. Get this kind of in there a little bit. So the next part of the recipe calls for you to warm up your refried beans. You don't need to get them boiling. You're really just warming them up just to be able to spread on your tortillas easily. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean off my counter, get my tortillas set out on my island, and then we'll start spreading the refried beans. All right, I have all my flour tortillas set out on my island. It called for 8 of them. The larger ones, not the smaller ones. I'm sure you could use the smaller ones, but you'd have to make more of them, and it's just, now see, you can see these are kind of just a little bit runny. That's okay. And I didn't even heat them up very much. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these. I just put like a little, maybe a tablespoon or 2 on each one. I'm gonna get these spread out and then I'll talk about the next step. Okay, so I have put some beans. I just spread it around the tortilla. I saved 1 so I could show you. This is so messy, and that's okay. And then I just go around and put evenly, to the best of your ability, all the cream cheese mixture on top of the refried beans. Just eyeball it, that'll work. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is go ahead and spread this. This is a little bit more challenging. It's not gonna be pretty, and that's okay, because once you roll it up, you won't see anything of you won't see any of this messiness. You'll just taste such goodness. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I won't make you watch me do it all. I'll just do it real quick and be right back. I have made sure to get all the way to the edge, and when I roll these up, it's going to leak out. You're going to push it out. There's no doubt about that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll these up. There's no technique to this, you guys. Just roll it up loosely and then see how it just gets all over. And just go ahead and put it on a tray. We're going to refrigerate this once we've rolled this up, and it's going to reset up that cream cheese mixture that we softened, and then we'll slice them up into pieces. So let me go ahead and get these rolled up. I'm going to refrigerate them for, I would say, about an hour, and then I will pull those out and we'll cut them and try them. These have been setting up. They're nice and firm. So I'm gonna go ahead and slice these up. I think using a serrated knife is the best. And I just kind of feel for where the filling starts, and I just cut from there. Usually you can get about 6 pieces, at least 6 pieces out of 1 tortilla roll up. And I just set the ends aside, and I end up putting those in a little baggie because Claire likes to eat those. He doesn't let those go to waste. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut these up, and we'll give one a try. And I'm telling you, this is a really simple, easy, family favorite appetizer. Really good. You're going to love it. I promise you, try it out. Take it to a get-together. You'll have people requesting you to make this at the next get-together. Thank you for watching today. I enjoyed making this recipe for everyone. If you liked what you saw today, if you would be kind enough to comment and share the video for other people to try, that would be greatly appreciated.